Sugar sector revitalization journey has for the first time appeared a serious venture. Sugar farming has encountered hurdles with the Agricultural Food Authority in July, temporarily halting cane crushing for the 4 months due to cane shortage. The 14 Lake Region Economic Bloc counties, also in a bold and significant move, held the first ever sugar conference where resolutions were handed to President William Ruto. Some of the resolutions included reinventing the Kenya Sugar Board. Alan Ochanda with that report.
Cane farming has for decades sustained the Western Kenya economy, but in recent years, the once sweet venture has turned bitter, erasing the smiles of farmers and thrusting them into abject poverty. To salvage the subsector, attempts have been made from the former Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya-led task force report, the Navaholo MP Emmanuel Wangwe bill, and the recent Lake Region Economic Bloc County Sanctioned Sugar Conference held in Kakamega in August. Several issues emerged as the cause of the limping subsector. Importation of the commodity, which is then repackaged as local brands, thereby threatening the future of local factories.
Unapata mabwenyenye wanaingiza hapa sukari kiolela, wanaingiza katika any corner of this country, wanaleta sukari mingi, na hii sukari inapoingia hapa ina destabilize the market price of sugar from the low production quarters. Hivi kwamba unapata sukari yetu inapotoka katika our mills, it cannot access market easily because you have cheap imported sugar ambayo even revenue is not paid for, sugar ambayo even at one time inakuwa na health issues.
I visited a miller, and when I visited the miller, they told me they were only packaging 50 kgs. But Gateway Mall in Nairobi, I found a 2 kg packaged in the name of that company. It means they import, they repackage. They are simply using factories as godowns to bring sugar and then sell sugar. And that is the biggest enemy, because if we will only do importation at the expense of production, it means we are killing farmers.
If we really want to make sure that the millers focus on cane development, then they should not be anywhere in as far as focusing on the sugar industry is concerned. They should not be anywhere in terms of importing sugar. Because when you allow a miller to be involved in the importation of sugar, definitely they will not now focus on cane development. So my honest thoughts is that the importation of the deficits must be regulated and done by private business people.
During his visit to the region in May this year, President William Ruto largely addressed the sugar subsector resuscitation, which saw the writing off of 117 billion shillings owed by 5 state-owned millers, but insisted on the need to invest in cane development. Questions, however, arose as to how and why state-owned millers were limping while privately owned were on their feet.
We also have some debts that are not owed to government, but are owed to people who are providing other services to the factories. Those who are doing transport services, those who are doing plowing services, those who are supplying spares to the factories. Again, you must clearly define that debts mean and include all those debts, so that when you are writing off, you don't write off debts owed to KCB, owed to KRA, owed to so-and-so, and then you go back and realize you have not paid your farmer, you have not paid Patel for bringing you spare parts, you have not paid Anjarwal for plowing for you, and so on. So all those must be dealt with.
A spot check on the cane farms and farmers are busy. Msokoto area in Busia County, farmers under the Olepito Sugar Factory are planting cane. They are concerned about the high cost of inputs.
Hapa Msokoto wakulima wa miwa ni wengi, lakini changamoto imekuwa kwamba tumekosa ule uhusiano ama ile support kutoka kwa most companies za miwa. Mara nyingi hatupati mbolea, labda kupata mbegu inakuwa shida, lakini mashamba yapo. Hasa mashamba, ukifanya statistics mashamba ya hasa area ya Msokoto, they are very fertile soils. Ni ile tu kitu ambayo inakosa ni pembejeo ama hiyo support ya kupata inputs kutoka the companies. Lakini kama West Kenya na kampuni zingine pia zingeiga mfano wa kuleta pembejeo kwa ukulima, miwa itakuwa kwa wingi sana because shamba iko. Hasa mimi mwenye nasema saa hizi shamba langu niko na shamba ekari 30. Lakini kwa sababu ya uwezo ya management I cannot manage it. So I'm trying bit by bit. Sasa hii shamba langu around 10 acres ndio iko na miwa.
Cane is planted by burying small pieces into the furrows. It mostly matures after 18 to 24 months. This has led to low productivity, and the Sugar Conference proposed to conduct research and embrace technology to achieve early maturing cane varieties.
Sugar is the easiest area for somebody to manage. They can go back to Bukas, like here, Bukatet, the company that started our Mumias Sugar Company. Or they can go and borrow management from Seychelles. And there are people who will come and manage for them. And it will take off. Where we have extension agriculture officers checking on this issue of sugar cane, checking on the soil and so on, and then making sure that, because like Mumias, we have tracts and tracts of land. If you go to tea area, what they are fighting for is issue of pricing. And farmers, many current farmers, attract them to sugarcane plantations and so on, and then attract government to come in, and then as simple as like that.
Initially, the sugar subsector issues were addressed by the Kenya Sugar Board, which has since been disbanded. It was instead placed under the Agricultural Food Authority, AFA, which has been accused of failing to address issues affecting the sector.
We believe that with the Kenya Sugar Board coming back, then issues around the regulatory framework in the sugar industry will be enhanced. We are also very happy that the same matter has been properly addressed by the current bill, the Wangwe bill, that has already progressed to the Senate. So we expect that senators, once the House resumes, maybe in February, they will prioritize the passing of the sugar bill so that we have the act. And therefrom, definitely, Kenya Sugar Board will come on board. And we expect now the sugar industry to be revitalized with the Kenya Sugar Board coming back.
Land, the number one factor of production, has been shrinking owing to the ever-surging population, leading to fragmentation where new owners try out different ventures. This too has taken a toll on cane production.
They have to say.
An idea to amalgamate cane millers in close proximity due to this has been mooted.
But we must also know that we are dealing with a sugar sector that is facing new challenges as well, apart from just the economic challenges. When Mumias Sugar was established in 1970s, the average farm size here was 30 acres per family. Today, our average farm size is half an acre, meaning that if I am milling at Mumias, sometimes I have to take a tractor 60 kilometers to Matayos to harvest a half an acre and come back another 60 kilometers, giving me 120 kilometers.
We come together and form one sugar belt company. We call this a sugar belt area, one company. And then we ask for the expertise or the experts from Mauritius or from the former Bukatet to see the supervision and to put mechanism in place of implementation. And with the support of government and county governments, one huge company. I'm telling you, even those companies like Kanani in Sudan and other companies that are producing sugar will not be able to match us. Even Brazil, anywhere, we will be ahead. And there will be billions and billions of money in this region.
The issue of amalgamating sugar factories is not tenable. When you look at, for example, Nzoia Sugar, Nzoia Sugar is in Bungoma County. It has its own structures, they have their own employees, they have their own corporate cultures, etc., etc. Mumias Sugar, it's in Kakamega County. Of course, quasi-government, because government has 20% interest. When you go to West, Kenya is private, Butali is private. So in my view, amalgamating is not viable. let's have a stringent regulatory framework so that the sugar factories operate within a legal framework for them to thrive as opposed to amalgamating them.
As the efforts are underway, the managements of the respective cane millers have been put on notice by the head of state as the buck stops with them. Alan Ochanda, KTN News.